Do you know how long it took last time he re-upped Steve Kerr? That came during the season, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And this is more Mark Spears on the verbiage he used about coaching Steph Curry.
Everything I've heard is up to Steve. Maybe fatigue. There's a weight that comes with that job. This is a franchise that is expected to have greatness, whether it has it on the roster or not. It's a brand now. You got Steph. So if you trot Steph out there, you have Draymond out there, people expect something great. There's a weight that comes with that. And I also think that Steve also truly respects the weight of the job that he has, the platform that he has.
Mark Spears.
Yeah, our guy.
This from Muhammad. I'm with Guru on one thing. Kerr should have never said that the Warriors are a fading dynasty. It's one thing a venture capitalist doesn't like is messing with their money. Then you got to get a new coach. And I'm being serious.
No, and we may be in the process of that.
Steve Kerr's not going to get less honest his last 2 years coaching.
And that's why he was honest with us, saying some within the walls didn't like how he talks about it. And we could laugh it off or, that's him just telling his truth. But if you think about it from an owner standpoint or the person that's in charge of that entity, to hear somebody that he's signing the check for that, that oversees him, I don't know if that would sit right.
I mean, one of the things where the Warriors are right now is, like, I want you to listen to what Spears says about, if Kerr doesn't come back. And this is what I got.
Okay.
And this is what I guess is hard for me to pinpoint, but I just know it's probably not the way it should be.
If Steve's not here, respectfully to the coach at the University of Florida is doing an amazing job. I think you need to talk to Draymond and Steph about who they'd like to be coached with, and not the ownership's favorite guy who they want to go to lunch and dinner with and communicate the best with, who Steph and Draymond communicate the best with. And when I look at Steve's coaching tree, there's a couple guys that come to mind. One is Willie Green, and people are like, well, he got let go by the Pelicans. Is that a good name? But I think oftentimes a coach is better the second time around. And Willie quietly came to Chase Center for a game this season. And he also spent some time with Steve. So is it deeper than two old friends getting together? I don't know. But I do find it curious that Willie made a point after he was let go by the Pelicans to come by Chase Center for a game and to spend time with Steve. And typically that's stuff that, coaches that have been let go do, go make the rounds. But I did think that was an interesting round.
I know you're going to laugh and probably call me a liar. Sonny, I find that fascinating. Like, they're two friends. One's back home. Willie's lived out here. And, you talk about the power in Kyle Shanahan's tree, and he hadn't won a chip, and guys have gotten jobs left and right. And Willie Green, might be one and done, but, I mean, there's no way they would give him the keys, right? And I'm not saying he's not worthy like James, but, man, and what would that discussion look like? Hey, Willie, I'm done after this year, and I'm going to play it off. Once the season's over, I'm going to take 3 weeks like I'm contemplating coming back. But
that's how it stuck out to me.
Yeah.
And I'm
here for you.
Evan, Guru, Risotto.
Happy birthday, baby.
The idea, okay, this is what I think is just backwards. And I don't care who they are. The idea that you're going to allow a 39-year-old and a 37-year-old to dictate who the next coach is going to be because they have to be able to coach those two, and those two have to be able to play for this guy. I hate that they're in this position.
But we don't know that to be the case.
Well, that's what Mark Spears just said. You don't think Draymond and Steph are gonna? He just said you better. The guy's got to be able to.
Recommendations, but the last thing I'm looking at is who could coach Steph and Dray. When I know,
well, that's not what Mark Spears said. I'm just telling you. Mark Spears just said that they're going to have to talk to Steph and Draymond to see who can coach this team. And I don't like that. I don't like that template. I mean, I get it. If it were 3 or 4 years ago, and I get it, you can use them as a sounding board, but you got to be kidding me. They're going to say Kerr. Yeah. They're going to say bring Kerr back.
Well, they know he's off the board, but I will say, if this thing pops off like we think, and there is a coaching vacancy here in Golden State, I guess Willie Green's name would be a name to watch.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't have any bad things to say about Willie Green, but
And does New Orleans, you're going to laugh, does New Orleans really count when Zion was, some of your best players were down and hurt to where, like you said, with Luke Walton, he failed?
I don't know. I mean, I didn't watch.
He got fired.
I didn't watch the Pelicans play a lot with Willie Green.
Well, Zion wasn't there a lot. Take that to the bank.
Yeah, it's almost like.
Give it to me. So you feel like Dray and Steph are running the. We don't know. He said that, but Steiner, we don't know that for fact.
Well, it's kind of true though, because I kind of get it, because you can't hire a coach in here they don't want. But
I don't think they signed off on Steve Kerr. Well, and they were puppies, but maybe then they hadn't had the.
They didn't have the juice that they have now. Yeah. Apparently,
Tupac.
Let's go to Tim. Tim's in North Carolina.
Tim,
hey Tim, what's going on, man?
Fellas, what's up, man?
What's up, baby?
Hey,
where you been?
Yeah, I know it's been a while, man. I just about to even listen. I've been in the car doing my thing, man. But I just still want to check in with y'all from time to time, man. Once the Kuminga thing has finally been over, man, I've been able to kind of relax and we could get back on a normal schedule and not calling y'all every other day. So, but no, Stoney, I agree with you on Mark Spears. That comment, making that comment, just kind of ridiculous to me. But I think Lacob is just squeezing Kerr a little bit, man. I mean, he's. It seems to me Kerr is about wanting a multi-year deal and all of this stuff. Kerr seems to be more focused on the nostalgia and how it ends, wants it to end right and all of this stuff. You never hear him getting excited about a reboot or a refresh and evolving and with a new system and extending stuff correct. Like, you don't hear him talk that way. His talk over the last 1 or 2 years has been about how it ends. Yeah. And Joe has had some differences with Steve. They go all the way back to the Iguodala interview. Tell the coach to play him. Yep. To the email last year with the preferences with coaches, players, and this and that. So Joe has been feeling some type of way. And hearing all of this fading dynasty, all of this woe is me talk is not what Lacob is about. So he's like, listen, man, if you coming back, I want multi-years. I want you to be ready to evolve. I mean, think about it, man. If Steve was ready to evolve with a new system, with something that take a little bit of pressure off of Steph, maybe Steph don't have a lifelong runner's knee that's going to be there for a long time, probably for the rest of his career. But Steve, he hasn't been interested in that. And the fact that he hasn't evolved has almost led to the destruction of his best player's health by not adding some changes, by not taking a little bit off of him and forcing others to grow. It has almost backfired to him in a way. And I think Joe probably just looking at it like, look, man, I want somebody ready to be excited about the reboot.
I agree.
When you think about Popovich was a part of the reboot. Popovich went through the downtimes and then was a part of the reboot. He had to probably talk to ownership to let them know, hey, I'm with this. Steve does not talk that way, man. He talks about how it ends, and he doesn't want it to be bad. I mean, so guys, I just think Joe is just not going to be about the war is mean stuff. He wants a commitment that you ready to come in here and make some moves, man, and do some things a little bit different. So I just think,
good call, man.
You can't blame Joe for that.
Yeah,
you
good call.
Blame Joe.
And Stoney, I'll just jump in real quick here. A fading dynasty, when you just hear that, is kind of, not the slogan you want to hear for not the reboot, but the future, It's kind of like you're resigned to it's over.
Yeah, and
that was interesting.
This from the YouTube chat from MTL0321. Steiny, you could say that for any team. The stars have to sign off on the coach, especially a quality franchise. Yeah, I'm leaning more toward my prime star. I mean, Steph and Draymond are only going to be around for 2 more years.
And what if Draymond is moved? I'm just throwing that out there. So why would you even listen to what he had to say if you got plans on moving him? Just throwing that out there.
Well, they might have plans on moving him, but I don't know that they'll be able to. But Slater touched on the Draymond angle. He fits into this puzzle just like Curry does. And Kerr himself. This is Slater on Draymond and where he's at right now. It doesn't sound like Draymond's in a great place.
Draymond Green's name was brought up at the deadline in the honest talks, and obviously if the Warriors go big fish hunting this offseason, especially now that Kuminga's contract at the door and you don't know what you can do with the Porzingis signing trade or not, like Draymond Green's contract is more needed if you are going to go down the Giannis, the Kawhi, salary hunting. So there is an understandable level of unease from Draymond. I do agree with you that the trade deadline, I mean, he's talked about it. It did unsettle him. The one thing I'll say, and we reported it in our story this week, and I could say going back to all my conversations with management post-deadline, they've pushed back against the idea that, they're trying to move off Draymond, or even at the deadline they were shopping him around. He is an understandable salary that they may have to move, but also that, they're voicing to me that a desire to still, keep him around long term. If a decline in multi-year extend would help them financially, get other pieces in the door this summer, they're open to that. So in no ways do I think Draymond Green's future is decided with the Warriors one way or the other. I do agree that if Steve Kerr leaves, you could see much more of a sea change organizationally, which I think would make Draymond more vulnerable. But I don't think Draymond believes that management is actively trying to push him out.
I wonder about that.
Yeah, because Dray is a shrewd, smart dude, man.
They might not be actively trying, but they're going to start actively trying to acquire talent in the offseason. And I think Draymond absolutely knows that Mike Dunleavy would move him.
And things are changing.
For the right player.
Yeah.
And the problem is if Draymond gets traded and he's not up for it, that is going to be a big blow to his ego, I think. I feel like some things are becoming clear. I think Draymond Green, and he's pretty much acknowledged it. He wants to retire here.
Yeah.
So if Mike Dunleavy trades him, Draymond is going to be, and
but he knows it's a business. He's told us
he's going to be hurt.
Yeah, I think he is now. I think that even that talk, because and again, this is a whole. I'm bringing something up. I'm not trying to, but just from a Mike Dunleavy standpoint, I don't know if you lose fans that love you when you go to that podium and talk to the reporter in the fashion that you did and kind of tell them everything you guys saw and heard didn't happen. And now you got Slater, you got Spears, guys that cover the team that are saying, yeah, they were trying to shop Draymond. That was real. So it just feels to me with Dray being open as he is and always is, you could tell his ego's hurt a little bit, and he's still in the Warrior uniform. But don't you dare. There's no doubt he wants security more than just what he has on his contract left. And for the first time in a long time, he's probably like, that might not be coming, and they could ship me out. And the guy that loves me, or loves me with tough love, Steve Kerr, if he's gone, what does that mean? Because that would be a natural thought for anybody. How valuable am I going to be if there's a new sheriff in town?
I think we've I think we know what's going on here.
Okay, all right. Except with Kerr.
No, I'm just talking about with Draymond Green.
No doubt.
I mean, I don't like. And here's the thing: Draymond's not an idiot. If Mike Dunleavy says, "Look, we're not trying to move you," that doesn't mean they're not gonna.
Yeah. Short and pull on line one.
The more I think about it, the more that I'm starting to think, Draymond Green is getting squeezed here a little bit. Because what I really think Draymond wants is to play 2 more years with the Golden State Warriors.
I agree with you.
But it's about, does he make the team better like he used to?
But they do not want to give him another year.
Right.
And I would not give him another year either.
And I think Dray knows that or feels it.
Right. And that would probably make him upset.
It would
as
make
a guy.
me.
Yeah.